Chuck Ruiz!
Alright, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing good?
Alright, you're doing good. Alright, so I grew up here in New Mexico. So I find it so funny when people come here and get culture shock. You see, just the other day, there was a guy selling burritos out of his car. And if you're from the area, you know that's where you'll get the best burrito, right? So I'm in line to get a burrito, and some tourist with some funky accent in front of me is asking the guy, what's in the burrito? And he tells him, it's carne. And the guy says, ugh, I hate carnies. And he says, no, it's carne al debana. Look, dude, I don't care what carnival he's from. I'm gonna go have a sandwich. Speaking of meat, the other day I went out to get some barbecue. Went to Ruiz. Any of you guys ever been to Ruiz? Yeah. Right, it's decent, right? So I'm in Ruiz, and I noticed something a little strange on their menu. You see, they have 3 types of brisket. The first kind is regular, I think they just call it brisket. The second kind is extra lean brisket, which we all know means has a lot of meat and very little fat. Now the third kind, being that they have regular and extra lean, logically you think would be extra fat brisket. And it is. But nobody would buy it if they called it extra fat brisket. What does Rudy's call it? Moist brisket. Moist. And at first I was like, really, Rudy's? I'm not fat, I'm just moist. After Thanksgiving, I gotta go put on my moist pants. You know, the one with the waistband that allows for extra moisture. But then 2 days later, I shit you not, my wife is gonna go out with one of her friends. She doesn't go out very often. Walks into the room and says, do these pants make me look fat? And they did. And I'm a bad liar. But Rudy's to the rescue. I was like, baby, you look moist. Moist? So moist. Alright, I was almost killed in the making of this next comedy bit here. True story. I was driving to Las Vegas, New Mexico, early in the morning, and that particular morning, they got a ton of snow and ice on the highway. So I'm there, driving along, practicing my comedy in the car like I always do, and I hit a patch of ice, I start spinning out of control, I fly out of the highway, stick the landing in the dirt, make it out okay. And after I look around, realize that I'm not dead, I just start laughing and laughing, because you see, I'm atheist, and the comedy bit I was practicing is pure blasphemy. So here I am, this atheist, driving along, spewing this blasphemy, and then I'm almost killed by an act of God. So here's the comedy bit that God smited me for. So, I don't believe that Jesus really turned water into wine. Sorry, I don't buy it, I don't think it happened, and I'll tell you why. Because first off, in the Bible, how many stories are there of Jesus turning water into wine? Just one, and that's bullshit. Because if you could really turn water into wine, that would have been at the end of every miracle. Jesus healed the blind, and then he turned water into wine, and they celebrated. Jesus healed the sick, and then he turned water into wine, and they celebrated. Jesus walked on water, and then he walked on wine. He would have been in there all the time. And if you can really turn water into wine, then the Bible would have the scriptures of Jesus the alcoholic, Jesus the recovering alcoholic, born again Jesus. But no, that's missing. Because I'm sorry, if you could turn water into wine, you and your friends would be drunk all the time. It's gonna happen. And then it wouldn't have been called the New Testament if all the disciples are too hammered to testify. Instead, it would have been called The Adventures of the Bearded White. And you would have drunk stories in there with Jesus like, dude, come here. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, guys, come here. You want to see something fucked up? Sure, Jesus. I'm going to turn Judas's body into 70% wine. All right, Jesus, but you know how he holds a grudge. And if Jesus could really turn water into wine, there is no way Pontius Pilate would have had him executed. No way, it wouldn't have happened. Pontius Pilate would have been there sipping from his chalice like, is that an 18th BC Merlot? Jesus' character is awesome. But my Lord, the people are calling him the King of the Jews. Ah, with wine this good, I don't care if they call him the Son of God. You guys, I'm Chuck Ruiz. Have a very good night.
For Chuck Ruiz, everyone! Great. That Jesus bit's gonna be a classic.